All right, family, we're going to go ahead and get started with our Trust in God class. So this is lesson 28. We are 28 weeks in on this class, and it's a very beautiful thing to experience, a very beautiful thing to journey with you on. And so today we are talking about escaping deception, okay? And so in this instance, we're going to go through this story with Isaac and his two kids, Jacob and Esau, and just how Isaac was deceived by his own kids, by his own son. He was deceived. I mean, it's the reality. But this is the thing about Isaac, I would say, is that he was not blessed at this time to have the understanding given from the Lord that Jesus gave us now. So it wasn't possible for him to see clearly, but it also was meant for him not to see clearly because it was for good purpose. And obviously through all these stories ends up coming Jesus Christ, that all these things had to happen for Jesus Christ to come into the world. But today we are going to learn. We're going to learn from Isaac's mistakes today. Learn from his mistakes, because something we have to understand is that deception is so real in this world. Like, some of us really walk around and don't realize that there is something to discern with everybody and everything in your life. If you're not discerning, you're walking to your own death trap for real. And so today we're talking about escaping deception and what that looks like and how to really see clearly through what's in front of you, what's going around you, what you feel. We'll talk about that, okay? And so escaping deception. Let's go and get to it. We're going to do quite a bit of reading today. So if you want to go to Genesis 27, we can read it together. We're going to read most of that chapter, and then we'll talk a little more about it, okay? So let's get to reading. Genesis 27, 1-4 says, "Now it came about when Isaac was old and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called his older son Esau and said to him, 'My son.' And he said to him, 'Here I am.' Isaac said, 'Behold, now I am old, and I do not know the day of my death. Now then, please take your gear, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare a savory dish for me, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, so that my soul may bless you before I die.'" And so here Isaac is. He's asking he's asking that his son Esau goes and does this favor, this fulfilling of really a desire of his for real. Fulfill this desire so I can bless you. Now, this is a very great representation of also who the Lord is to us. Like, go and do what I told you to do, and then I will bless you, right? And so here he is. He's trying to bless his son. But let's keep going real quick. Genesis 27, 5-7 says, Rebekah was listening while Isaac spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game to bring home, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Behold, I heard your father speak to your brother Esau, saying, 'Bring me some game and prepare a savory dish for me, that I may eat and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death.'" Genesis 27, 8-10, it says, "Now therefore, my son, listen to me as I command you. Go now to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats from there, that I may prepare them as a savory dish for your father, such as he loves. Then you shall bring it to your father, that he may eat, so that he may bless you before his death." Okay, now here is this is Jacob's mother, okay? Now, Jacob's mother was inspired to do this by the Lord because these things had to happen for Jesus Christ to come to the world. They had to happen. And so we have to understand that she was inspired by the Lord to do this. But we're learning from the situation. We know it had to happen for the good, but let's learn so that we can be better in our lives, okay? Because this the thing is that what she did was not righteous, though. It wasn't righteous. She literally inclined her son's heart to trick his father. And so that's the thing, too, about us in deception. Here we have Isaac, who is being deceived by his wife and his own son. Some of y'all really don't understand that some of your greatest enemies in your life will be in your own household. Jesus Christ said that himself. And so what we have to understand about this, though, is that we have this deception being built up, right? Jacob actually wasn't even planning on deceiving his father. His mother inclined his heart to deceive his father. But it's also something you have to understand is that your parents are not always leading you the right way in life. His own mother was telling him to do something dark to gain for his own life. His own mother. Y'all don't understand that's how deep deception runs in this life. It's not people on the outside. It ain't somebody at your job. It ain't somebody on the street corner. It ain't somebody on Twitter. It ain't nobody on Facebook and Instagram. It's the people in your life. So if you're deciding to not discern the people in your own life, you are deciding to die. Do you not understand that Adam was deceived by his own wife? When the Lord showed up and he cursed him, he said to Adam, you are cursed because you have listened to the voice of your wife. He was deceived by his own wife. Some of y'all don't understand the people that you should be discerning, the people that you should be trying to figure out, this darkness, this light, is this God speaking to, or is this the enemy? It's the people in your life right in front of you. And so let's keep going, because like I said, this is his wife conspiring. And he knows, this is the thing, his wife knows that he seeks to bless Esau. But his own wife is going against her oneness and having him deceive his father. Now, come on, today's about escaping deception, so I got to be real with you on how big the deceivement is in this life. Let me keep going. Genesis 27:11-13. Jacob answered his mother Rebekah, behold, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man. So this is what Jacob says back to his mother. He's like, okay, you want me to trick him, but hold on a second. Behold, Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. Perhaps my father will feel me, then I will be as a deceiver in his sight, and I will bring upon myself a curse and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them for me. Oh my gosh. I don't think y'all understand. This is the voice of the devil right now. The voice of the devil for real through his mother. Is he's literally saying, hold on, but like, listen, I'm not Esau. And if he finds out I'm not Esau, if he finds out I'm deceiving him, I'm going to be cursed. But what does his mother say? His mother says to him, your curse be on me. You won't die. It'll be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them for me. His mother is literally being like, it's so funny because even by saying that she's inspired by the Lord, we understand the devil had to show up to the Lord in Job to test Job. So if the mother is being used by the enemy is being used by God, the Lord has his hands in the whole situation. But we have to make sure that we're on the right side of righteousness and not being used by the devil. Because I'm trying to tell you the truth. Even though God's in control of the devil and the devil is deceiving her right now, and in the end, God's in control of the whole thing, you have to understand they're still going to be wrong because they're not following the path of righteousness. But this is why Jesus Christ is such a blessing. This is why Jesus Christ is such a blessing, because then you can actually know that although this is inspired, although it looks right, although I know that God has his hands on the scenario, I can actually know that I'm on the right side of the scenario that God is planning in my life. The deceivement is real out here. I don't think y'all understand how dangerous and how real that is. But here is Jacob saying, I'm going to bring a curse upon myself if he finds out I am a deceiver. But his mother said to him, your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them for me. And this is crazy because Jacob's heart inclined towards God. He was not inclined to deceive. He understood right and wrong. He understood that literally, this is wrong, not only in my father's sight, but in God's sight, I know I'm wrong, mother. He knew it. He knew that he was wrong. He knew it wasn't right to deceive. He knew this. But his mother, your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them from me. Literally, come on now. Esau is literally inclining his heart towards God. And we can clearly see that his mother is listening to the enemy in her heart. Is this not the enemy's voice? Your curse be on me. What did the devil say to Eve when she said to him that if we eat this fruit we'll die? He said, you surely won't die. Is that not the voice of the devil? That things come up in your life and this looks like the right way to go and that looks like the right way to go and these things be in front of you. And then what does he say to you? He says, you won't die. You won't be thrown to a lake of fire. That's what he says today. He says, don't worry about that. You won't be thrown to a lake of fire. Remember, you got baptized. You can do whatever you want to do. Your curse will be on me. I'm the one who's cursed. You're not. You can do whatever. Isn't that the voice of the devil? Only obey my voice and go. Get them from me. And so let's keep going real quick, because I got a lot to talk about. So Genesis 27:14-17 says, so he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory food such as his father loved. Then Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, her elder son, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. And she also gave the savory food and the bread which she had made to her son Jacob. Okay. And so we don't understand something. What is she using to deceive right now? She's using physical things. I don't think you understand that if you were, we'll keep going. We'll keep going. But you have to understand that these physical things are what people are going, they can't deceive what they mouth. They can't. They have to use physical things. They have to dress their life up. They have to put on garments to look like that I'm the good person. They have to cover their skin and say, oh no, look at me, feel me. I'm a good person. They have to come with the things that you desire. They come with the things that you desire. So he knows that his father wants this savory food. So what does he come with? He comes with his desires. Come on now. Y'all can't be deceived this bad in your life. I'm trying to show you the truth. Let's keep going. Genesis 27:18-20 says, then he came to his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Get up, please sit and eat of my game, that you may bless me. Isaac said to his son, how is it that you have it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord your God caused it to happen to me. So what did he do? He goes to him, and obviously he's under the influence of his mother, who's under the influence of the devil. And he says to her, he starts tricking him, saying, I'm Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Get up, please, sit and eat my game, that you may bless me. Isaac said to his son, how is that you have it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord your God caused it to happen to me. And so for real, I'm trying to tell you the truth. Let me tell you the truth real quick. Is that we have to understand some things. Is that really what happens in your own heart is you have an inclination and you know when something's fishy. You know. And here's Isaac. Who knows? How did you have it so quickly, my son? It don't even make sense how you have this right now. It don't even make sense. And he said, because the Lord your God caused it to happen to me. And so what does he say? He says, oh, it doesn't make sense because God did it. But little do we know, there's nobody that makes more sense than God. There's nobody that makes more sense than God. Don't you understand that's how people will deceive you? Is they say, oh, God did this. Oh, God said this. Oh, God. But they're not going to tell you exactly his word and what he said, though. They're not going to tell you exactly how he said it was going to get done and how it got done. They're not going to tell you exactly his word because it wasn't God. Let me keep going. Genesis 27:21-24. Then Isaac said to Jacob, please come close that I may feel you, my son, whether you are really my son Esau or not. Whether you are really my son Esau or not. And so here's Isaac saying to Jacob, he is literally saying to him like, listen, I'm still weary. I don't really know. Let me do this little test. And this is how he's testing, but his testing ain't wise, though. It's not good testing. testing him by physical matters. So he says, please come that I may feel you, my son. So he tries to feel him physically. Come on now. Whether you are really my son Esau or not. He is literally banking on physical attributes to tell him if this is Esau or not. Don't you know how easy it is for somebody to deceive you with their physical life and physically? It's so easy. But then he says, so Jacob came close to his father and felt him and said, the voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. He did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him and he said, are you really my son Esau? And he said, I am. Come on now. Come on. Isaac is literally seeing very clearly. He's seeing clearly, but he don't want to believe it. He's literally saying, this is the voice of Jacob. These words are the words of Jacob. But the hands are the hands of Esau. So what was physical, what was physical was telling him that it was his other son, which it was not. But what he couldn't see was telling him the truth. But what did he bank on? The physical things. He chose to judge by the physical. And then he says he did not recognize him because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. So he blessed him and he said, so then he blesses him. And then he says to him again, are you really my son Esau? And he said, I am. He literally blesses him and then still questions it. I have to tell you the truth. If you have to still question, you shouldn't be moving forward. You should be seeking understanding and clarity from God. If you still have to question after you've done what you've done. So what some of y'all do is that you say, is God really telling me to be with this person or not? Is God really telling me this is my husband, this is my wife? But then you continue to move forward and it being your husband or wife and you're still questioning. Come on. God gives clarity and he helps you see clearly. You ain't going to have no questions if God made it clear to you what the discernment in front of you and what you're doing and what you shouldn't do. You ain't going to have no questions. And so he says, are you really my son Esau? And he said, I am. I am. So he's still lying, right? So then it says, so he said, bring it to me and I will eat of my son's game that I may also bless you. And he brought to him and he ate. And he also brought him wine and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, please come close and kiss me, my son. So he came close and kissed him. And when he smelled the smell of his garments and he blessed him and said, so listen, he smelled the smell of his garments. That is still a physical thing. You cannot judge by even smell. I don't think y'all understand. You can't see somebody clearly based off what you smell. I don't think y'all understand that there is no physical sense. Smell. What you're really smelling particles is something physical. You cannot judge by it. Sight. What you see, you cannot judge by it. Feel what you feel. You cannot judge by it. Are y'all learning from him right now? So he came close and kissed him. And when he smelled the smell of his garments, he blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field, which the Lord has blessed. Now may God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and abundance of grain and new wine. May people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be master of your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be those who curse you, and blessed be those who bless you. And so he gives him this great blessing, which this is obviously a blessing that's really a foreshadowing of Christ and just coming into, we come into this blessing through our faith. We really do. We really come into this blessing through our faith. Because we are the descendants of, through faith, we are made of this family, of this family of faith. This is us. But now understand something, that Jacob stole this blessing because he deceived Isaac strictly off of physical things. But you know what else he's doing right now? It's so crazy because you know what else happens? While he's trying to decide and see clearly, what does Jacob do? He also gives him wine. He also gives him wine. And so this the thing is that Now we have Isaac here who has leaned on his smell to judge. He's leaned on what he feels to judge. He's leaned on, he can't see, so he's blind, so he can't even use his sight. So he can't even use what he sees. He's also used, he's used everything but God to judge the situation. To be honest with you, he used everything but God. And it's crazy because God has been his inclination in his heart because he's a little bit weary. And he's like, nah, I know there's something to discern, but he didn't have the wisdom to discern correctly. And so that's what we do sometimes, is that you know there's something to discern. You know there's something that I need to see clearly. You know that I'm not seeing clearly. You know it. But even as you judge, you don't judge wisely, so you still choose wrong. Let's keep going real quick. We got two more slides of Genesis 27, and we'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll be done for the day with this. So it says, now it came about a son. As soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, Jacob had hardly gone out from the presence of Isaac, his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from hunting. Then he also made savory food and brought it to his father. And he said to his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that you may bless me. Isaac, his father, said to him, who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Now, hold on one second, because I want to talk about something else, too. So his mother literally sided with Jacob and helped him deceive his father and getting his blessing. And the whole time, she is literally stealing from her other son. How much more wicked can you see somebody be for real? Now, some of y'all have friends, okay? And that friend will literally be on so say there's a friend and they have two friends, right? Now, some of y'all, literally, this friend will side with one friend to get that one friend to be blessed, and this one friend, to be blessed, and this one friend to have these things from God, and this one friend to be right with God and all those other things, while also taking from the other friend. And you still think that friend is a good friend. Some of y'all read this story and really still think that Rebecca was a good mother. Oh, just because she was there. She wasn't no good mother. She was literally taking from one son who it was rightfully theirs. Literally took from one son. Literally is taking from one son and willingly hurting another. That's not love. It reminds me of a situation I was just thinking about recently. And I was actually talking about women. I was really saying, like, if you're a woman that claims to love women, you do not love women if you are advising men to hate one woman to love the other. That's what Rebecca is doing right now. That's not love, and it's not righteousness. It's wicked. And so he literally says, so here he is right here, and Esau comes back, and this is the funniest. When I read this, it really made me laugh for real. He says to his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that you may bless me. Isaac, his father, said to him, who are you? So he comes in here, and it's funny because he was already weary, but now now somebody else is coming here with this game and this stuff. I mean, he's blind, but someone else comes in here with this game and this meal and asking him for a blessing. And he says, who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Let's keep going. Then he says, then Isaac trembled violently and said, who was he that hunted game and brought it to me, so that I ate all of it before you came and blessed him? Yes, and he shall be blessed. And so what happens is that Isaac trembled violently. He was scared. He was worried. He's like, hold on. I made the wrong decision. But the reality is this, is after you make that decision, you can't take it back. Because what did he say? Yes, and he shall be blessed. Once you make a decision, you can't take it back. You got to live with it. Sorry, you got to live with it. That's who God is. Live with it. Now do right by your decisions. Live with it. And so he's literally like, he's realizing he's being deceived, right? When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry and said to his father, bless me, even me also, oh my father. And he said, and then he said, your brother came deceitfully and has taken away your blessing. Now, hold on. I don't know if y'all understand. This is the same story of Adam and Eve right here. The same story. The same story. Is that Adam and Eve were blessed. And what the devil come to do? He came to steal, kill, and destroy, so they no longer had their blessing. He deceived. He came deceitfully, and took his blessing. I'm trying to tell you, you got to open your eyes and learn how to discern in life, or you're going to keep having the same death trap that Adam and Eve fell into in their lives over and over and over and over and over again. And so let's keep going. I got a couple of things to talk about with it. We really went through that story pretty well and really outlined it. But let's go through this. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, but the Lord said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or at the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For God sees not as a man sees, for man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And so, family, you have to understand that correct judgment, you cannot look at anyone's physical appearance or anything physical about their life and think that you're judging correctly. You've got to look at the heart. Now, some of y'all still don't understand what it means to look at the heart, but then thank God we have Jesus Christ. So Mark 7:17-23 says, when he had left the crowd and entered the house, his disciples questioned him about the parable, and he said to them, are you so lacking understanding also? Do you not understand that whatever goes into the man from outside cannot defile him, because it does not go into his heart, but into his stomach? So therefore understand, if we are to judge the heart, don't you understand there's nothing on the outside that can go into the heart? You can't judge somebody but what physically is going on and what you physically see, what you feel. You can't do that because it's not their heart. But then he says, defile him because it does not go into his heart, but goes into his stomach and is eliminated. Thus he declared all foods clean. And he was saying that which proceeds out of the man, that is what defiles the man. For from within, out of the heart of men proceed the evil thoughts, fornications, thefts, murders, adulteries, deeds of coveting and wickedness, as well as deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness. All these evil things proceed from within and defile the man. And so this is the thing, is that think about what Isaac literally said. He literally said, the voice is the voice of Jacob. He literally heard through his words and his voice that it was Jacob. But he decided that, oh no, it's not words. It's not his voice. It's not what's coming out of him that I should judge him by. I should judge him by the physical things. And guess what? He judged wrong. He judged wrong. He judged wrong. Through his voice, it says, for from within out of the heart of man proceed these things, right? One thing that says proceed out of man's deceit. He literally heard through his voice, out of his mouth, he heard the deceit and it made him weary. But he decided that it was the physical things that show him life best. And that's a lie. You're going to go the wrong way every time. Matthew 23:25-26 says, woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you clean the outside of the cup of the dish and of the dish, but inside they are full of robbery and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisee, first clean the outside of the cup, first clean the inside of the cup and of the dish, so the outside of it may become clean also. And so, fam, we have to understand some things. You can clean up the outside of the cup as much as you want to, but the inside of the cup is what matters. You can dress your life up to look as beautiful as you want to look. You can have your perfect looking family. You can look like you don't drink nothing. You don't do no drugs. You can look like you never have sex in your life. You can look like the perfect individual, but it don't matter to God. Because that's not who you truly are. Who you truly are is what's inside of you, what's come out of your mouth. And so you can have all the money and the beautiful family. You can have all these things. But if what's coming out of your mouth is filthy, if it's filled with, let me go back real quick. If what's come out of your mouth is filled with evil thoughts and fornications. I don't even know if y'all know what fornications really are. It ain't just about sex. It's about your love for the world. And so you just keep spewing out this love for this world, the world, the world, the world, the world. All you talk about is your love for sex and your love for these physical things, your alcohol and your weed and all the other things, these fornications. You're filthy inside. All that comes out of your mouth is thefts and what you took and what you got. Some of y'all really brag about, I took this girl's man. You're thieving. Murders. It says everyone who hates is a murderer. All you keep speaking of is your hate. You're filthy inside. And your life may look as beautiful as possible. But as long as these things come out of your mouth, you are filthy inside and the inside of the cup is dirty. And I don't think you understand something. The Lord can't drink. Listen, think about this cup real quick. Let me go back real quick. Think about this cup real quick. It can be as beautiful as it wants to be on the outside. Think about a cup in your own home. It can be as clean on the outside as it wants it to be. But if it's filled with dirt on the inside, you're not drinking from the cup. That's how the Lord will treat you. You can make it as beautiful as you want to on the outside. But if the inside of the cup is not clean, it won't get drunk from. It actually be tossed. Now this lesson about escaping deception. If you don't want to be deceived in your life, you've got to stop looking with your eyes and listen with your ears. Listen. It's so crazy because even the defilement of deceit, if you keep listening, you'll hear it. Because I'm trying to tell you this. If deceit is in their heart, you ain't going to be the only person they deceiving. They'll be talking to you about how they trick this person and how they deceive this person to get this and they want. They'll over time, they may put on one face, but time will show itself. The deceit has to show. They have to show them true selves. And usually it happens after people don't get their desires. Then that deceitful face comes off. But you got to keep listening and stay patient. It says love is patient. If you can't be patient, you're never going to see clearly. Which was also Isaac's issue, is that he was weary, but he just could not stay patient. If he stayed patient, literally, it said about 10 seconds later, Esau comes through the door. If he had 10 more seconds of patience, he would have saw clearly. 10 more seconds. I got 2 more slides and we're done for the day. Matthew 23, 27, 28 says, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whitewashed tombs, which on the outside appear beautiful, but inside they are full of dead men's bones and all uncleanness. So you too outwardly appear righteous to men, but inwardly you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness." And see, you understand something. The people who humankind look at and say, oh, this person looks righteous, you gotta dig deeper. Because they look that way, but they're not. I'm trying to tell you the truth. He's literally telling you the people that just look righteous, they're not the ones. Think about Jesus Christ. And there's so many examples in this Bible, but let's talk about Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, who was born in a manger, not in a palace, not in a mansion, in a manger next to animals. He was also a man that walked around once he got older with no money. And when he walked around with 12 disciples, which half of them had their wives. So 12 disciples, 6 wives, and 3 other women that followed behind him. He did not look righteous outwardly. Trust me. They did not believe that he was righteous outwardly. But every word that came out of his mouth, they said, wow, this is a righteous man. And so I'm trying to tell you the truth. As long as you're looking at the outside, you're never going to see clearly who is deceiving you. And it's the thing is that, to be honest with you, looking at the outside is looking at the things that are physical, or also when it comes to your own family. Because what do? You say, oh, this is my mother. This is my father. This is my brother. This is my sister. This is my cousin. This is my auntie. This is my uncle. Don't you know that most kids that get abused are getting abused by their family? You're something physical. You are judging them by DNA, and you're judging wrong. But inwardly, you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. Matthew 7:15-20 says, "Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves." He is literally trying to, and this is straight in sheep's clothing. Because come on now. What did Jacob do? What did Jacob do? Let me find it real quick. Let's read it together real quick. What did Jacob do? Literally, it says, then Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, her brother, her elder son, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goats on his hands. The skins of the young goats. The skins of the young goats. Now let's go back real quick to what Jesus is saying right here. "Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves." Literally, he literally came to his father in sheep's clothing. Literally. As long as you are looking at the clothing, as long as you're looking at what's on the outside of the person, as long as you're looking with your eyes, as long as you're judging by the physical things, you're never going to see clearly. "But inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs from thistles, are they? So every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, nor can a bad tree produce good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown to the fire. So then you will know them by their fruits." Listen. Literally, it says you will know them by their fruits. I don't think you understand that their fruit is what's coming out of them, what they're producing. Their words are what they're producing from their heart. This section literally says words reveal character. You'll know them by their fruits. What are the fruits of the Spirit? The fruits of the Spirit are love, faith, patience, joy, gentleness, kindness, goodness, self-control. I don't know if you really realize in this story, but Jacob had no patience in this situation. He was trying to hurry up and get out of there. You'll know them by their fruits. You'll know them by their fruits. And that's the reality, is that the fruit that's coming out of their mouth, what he's trying to say is you'll know them by their fruits. He says, what does he say? He says, grapes are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor figs from thistles. So he's literally saying, if you hear a grape, if you hear a good fruit coming out of somebody's mouth, it came from a good tree. Don't be overly examining. Sometimes you trick yourself. If you're literally hearing this good fruit, you hear the 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 good fruit, and you just still staying skeptical. But little do you know is your skepticism is what is inclining them to turn from that good tree to a bad tree. You've also got to believe people when they show you that they have good fruit. But you also have to believe people when they show you they have bad fruit. You have to understand that bad fruit, it cannot come from a good tree. And then so some of y'all, what y'all do is you throw out certain things. You're like, oh, he abuses me. Oh, he does this. Oh, he says things like this. But you know, he's a good person. No, bad fruit comes from a bad tree. Good fruit comes from a good tree. It ain't that hard. But you got to realize that as long as you're looking at the physical things, you'll never see clearly. And so, family, this lesson was about escaping deception. Escaping deception. I hope you got something good from that. Text prayer request at 317-891-4148. We'd love to go to prayer. Love to go to battle for you and send angels in action to your life. You can text with a testimony, text with a prayer request. You can text with a scripture if you want to read. Whatever it is, we want to journey with you. So text us, all right? And then lastly, we asked about tithe and offering. And so we asked you that you save 10% because you're in the body of Christ, a walking testimony in his good news. We encourage you to save 10% to support your ministry this life. We also encourage you to give 10%, okay? So what we do is he's called his disciples to let go of money, let go of physical possessions, and it's by your giving they're able to keep their eyes on Christ and give you a pure message from him. And so whether it be this ministry or the next ministry, make sure that you are giving that 10% so they can continue to feed you properly. And then lastly, we give back. So what I do is I pull $50 a week from that Cash App to ensure that God's word will continue through our ministry. The rest of the acquired money will be divided equally and redistributed to those that gave. And so we'll be the first to bless you. And that Cash App is $ChristKingway. We'd love for you to be a part of our tithe and offering program. I hope that you got something good from this lesson, escaping deception. And I hope you have a blessed day. We'll be back on here tomorrow at noon with our Stronger in God's Word class. Have a blessed day.